Neighbors in St. Joseph have noticed trees suddenly disappearing from their backyards.
Flooding has devastated the town several times, and that's why the Drainage Commission is doing something about it. WCIA3's Caitlin Connolly is live in St. Joe tonight. Caitlin, neighbors disagree about whether this is a good thing or not, depending on what side of town they live on.
That's right, Jessica. There's a difference in opinion here in Heather Hills neighborhood. It's the north side of the neighborhood. This way, it's considered the flood zone when it rains. Sometimes their house sees a lot of flood or water inside versus the south side of the neighborhood. This way, you can see the elevation's a little bit higher. Water doesn't necessarily go into their homes. Now, the Drainage Commission came up with this flood plan in 2008. It maps out the years, 5 years, 7 years down the road and as needed, but they never said specifically what they would be doing in 2018, which is why some neighbors are upset. The Salt Fork River is a relaxing getaway for St. Joseph neighbors living in Heather Hills. But in 2008, it caused thousands of dollars worth of damage.
Neighbors across the street had water in their house at that point. People down the street, I had to go out with my boat and pull them out of the back of the house, mother and child.
We talked to the attorney of the drainage district. He says the court approved an easement, giving them access to 200 feet on either side of the river. But this spring, the flooding started again. The north side of the neighborhood, considered in the flood zone, is happy the drainage district is back to fix the problem.
They're probably just saying it's time because it's going to get worse.
But neighbors on the south side say this is a disaster.
We ran out back.
I ran
You
out
did,
back,
and
yeah.
then he called me.
Yeah, and walked down and looked, and suddenly there was a 30-foot, roughly wide, bare strip, like a roadway alongside the creek.
The Wardrops say they had no idea their trees would be removed until they heard the machines tearing them down. And they say they weren't told how this would fix the flooding problem.
Our side of the bank was clear cut. The other side of the bank with trees hanging over the river are still there, not clear cut. Trees far more dangerous to the river as far as falling into the river haven't been touched.
One thing they can agree on, it would have been nice to have been told.
And we know they don't have to tell us, but courtesy would have.
Courtesy, yeah.
I've been sent an email chain from neighbors here who are discussing having a meeting on Monday night to discuss what's going on. They plan on inviting the Planning Commission just so they can sit down and have a meeting about everything. Live in St. Joseph, Caitlin Connolly, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Yeah, we'll have to see what comes out of that. All right, Caitlin, thank you so much.